Hey everyone, it's Mr. Whirling. I'm going to try and put together a video here for you guys. It seems like the one that I keep putting on Edmodo keeps failing. So this will be based on pages 500 and 501 in your book. And let's go. So the first thing we need to do to make all this work is to ensure that your diagnostics are set to on. So you can do that by going to second 0, which turns the catalog on. If you look up here, you see a little a. That means alpha. So let's go ahead and press x to the negative 1 for D. All right, brings up all the D's. Diagnostic, on. Hit enter. Enter one more time, let you know that it's done. All right, so what we want to do now is go ahead and take a look at a table. All right, so stats, and then edit. I've gone ahead already and entered all the values from the book in to my table. Otherwise, it would take an awful long time on video, and you'd just be watching me put in numbers. So you guys can do that in your free time. All right, once we have that, what we want to do is make sure that your stat plot's on. So second, then y equals. All right, looks at your stat plots. So I have plot 1 off right now. I'm going to turn it on just by flashing it over on and hitting enter. I have my type is right. List. My X list, I want to be list 1, and my Y list, I want to be list 2. One more thing we have to do. Let's go to the window. Your calculator is not really used to a viewing window that is going to work for what we need, so we have to type something in. So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and type in 1780, because that's 10 years prior to our initial value of 1790. All right. And my maximum value, I'm going to put in 2020. That way the X values on my window are going to be big enough to accommodate everything. I'm going to go ahead and put the Y's in. It's the Y minimum. The minimum amount of people that I'm going to have per square mile is 4.5. So I'm going to give it a little bit of room. I'm just going to use 2. And then the maximum, it says 80 on there, so I'll go up to 85. All right. So it seems like we're all set. So let's go ahead and graph. A nice collection of points there. All right, so we got all these points. What are we going to do with them? Well, let's analyze the points. All right, how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to take a look at how these points all fit together, and that's a line of regression. All right, we're going to look for the line of best fit. So first things first, we're going to go ahead, hit stat, all right, and then calc, and we want to find regression lines. So the first line that we're going to look at is a linear regression. Just the normal ax plus b. Let's go ahead, see what we come up with. It's going to give us some letters, y, a, b, and r. What we're looking at is r. We want r to be as close to 1 or negative 1 as humanly possible. So take a note real quick, that's 0.9454. We're going to look at some other regressions. So stat again, over to calc again. We're going to look at quadratic regression. Enter one more time, and my calculator will think for a minute. So we've got those digits as well. What we want to look at here is this is r squared. What we're going to have to do is take the square root of this number, 0.997, and that'll give us what our r actually is. So it ends up being, I think, somewhere near, 0.998. That's pretty close to 1. So we'll hang on to that one, write it down, and see what the next one is. So we'll go to statistics. Back over to calc, and let's go down. Cubic, quart, that's okay. We did linear already. Exponential, we want to check out exponential regression. All right, we check out exponential regression, and it comes back with an R of 0.9918. So not quite as good as a quadratic, but we have one more to check. So, stat, back to calc, go all the way down. Power regression. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah. And comes up with an R of 0.9117. So if we look at all the R values, we can find that the quadratic one was the best. It was the closest to 1. So what we're going to do is see what it looks like in the calculator, see what this line of regression really looks like. What we want to do is go to stats, over to count, and down to 5 to quadratic regression. We'll go ahead and enter. All right. Enter one more time. Brings up the quadratic regression again. We're going to go to y equals. If you have anything here in y1, get rid of it, because it'll throw everything off. All right. Let's go ahead and hit vars, y vars. Oops. I think I went a bit too far. Here we go. Down to statistics. So regular vars, down to statistics. Enter. And we want to move over a couple. Equations, linear regression. So it's going to take that regression equation and stick it in for y1. Now, we're just going to hit graph, see what happens. If you look close, you'll see that there's a line forming in between all the dots. That's our regression line. Not too bad, huh? So the book asks us to take what we know and try and figure out what the population is going to be in 2020. That's not too hard. Let's go to second, trace. So we're going to calculate something. We want to calculate a value. So hit value. It's going to ask us for x. Well, our x value is going to be the year 2020. Since our years are down here as x's, that's why we're going to use the x value. Type in 2020, hit enter. It'll spit back as y, a number. That's really close to 95, 94.85. So there's going to be somewhere near 95 people per square mile in the year 2020. All right, these are the steps that we took to find the regression equation are going to be the same steps that you take to find the regression equation for your cars, the car depreciation during your project. So hopefully this will have helped you. Sorry again that the earlier videos weren't working, but hopefully this helps. Take care.